Hello, people. Welcome to El3vation Radio. I have my guest Mika that's going to be in the building today. So, are y'all excited? Because I am pretty excited. She is joining us now. You just hit the little plus button and I'll bring you up.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
How are you? Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Finally, we meet in person.
Yes. It's been a while.
Because, we've been following each other on TikTok for a while now.
Yeah, for a while. Almost since the beginning of when I started, I think. So.
Wow, are you serious?
I think so. I think we followed each other like a few months into when I started TikTok. So, and I've been on TikTok for more than a year now. So.
Yeah, well, you followed all 5 of my accounts that I kept creating because, I kept creating and deleting accounts. The perfectionist in me had to keep, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know why I kept doing that, but, thank you so much for keep following me back and putting up with that, putting up with that bullshit. So, yeah.
Of course.
And I like your hair. I love your hair.
Thank you. I'm considering dyeing my eyebrows pink to match, but I don't know yet.
That would be unique. I would be here for that.
I saw someone on TikTok, she said if you don't like your hair, dye your eyebrows the same color as it. So I was like, I might try that. I've never done that before.
Well, Lizzo did, take a big risk by dyeing hers blonde, so maybe you'll look good too, so.
Hopefully.
I have a few questions to ask you. I've been wanting to have this discussion for a while now because one of the main reasons I followed you is because, we both relate on something, which I'll get into. First, I want to, get into the simple questions. I want to ask you about your upbringing. So, like, what was your upbringing like for you?
So I was raised by a single parent with 3 siblings close to my age. Probably the biggest thing, like the most interesting thing about the way I was raised was that I was actually homeschooled from the time I was in 2nd grade all the way up until 17 when I started community college. So that was, at the time it didn't feel different to me because that's all I knew. But now looking back, it's a lot different than other people are brought up. And the way I was homeschooled was more like, I don't know if you've heard of unschooling, but it's a philosophy of homeschooling where there's no specific curriculum. You follow the children's interest. So, going outside and running around the woods was learning for me. Like, raising foster animals was learning for me. We didn't have like structured times where we sat down at a table and like did desk work. So it was a lot different. It was very hard going into college from that, but yeah. I think it gave me an interesting perspective on life. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Like, I've never heard of that type of homeschooling before. Like, that sounds great, actually. Like,
yeah.
Did you really enjoy that?
I liked it a lot. I don't know if I would have done well in a public school. So before homeschooling, I was actually in a Montessori school, which is everybody, all the grades are like together. So again, it's not like how people think of a normal school. So I went from that straight to homeschooling. So I think that those are the environments that I could succeed in. And I think if I went to public school, I don't know if I would have done well. But yeah, it was a lot of self-directed stuff and like personal creativity and certain stuff like that. So I think it was good for me, like going into college after that. I wasn't burnt out from school in the way a lot of people are when they finish high school.
Right. Wait, I have a personal question for you. Like, when it comes down to homeschooling, like, you don't think you missed anything at all?
I mean, I definitely missed some things. Like, a major thing, obviously, that I missed was a lot of social stuff. Like, it was me and my siblings in my house, or like wherever we went. It was mainly me and my siblings. We'd have neighborhood people that we'd play with after they got back from school, but most of the day it was just me and my siblings. And then there was a couple times, like a couple short periods in my life where we would like have meetups with other homeschoolers, so that was an opportunity for that. But yeah, I was very, very under-socialized as a child.
Oh, wow. So you think that kind of, contributed to you, being an introvert or anything?
I think it definitely did contribute to that. I don't think it's the whole reason. It
Okay.
definitely, I think I would say it more contributed like to the way I interacted with people, or like when I first started going into social spaces, it was like I didn't have practice with that, so it was like starting from scratch. But my personality, I think, would have been introvert either way. So
Okay. So you think you were just born that way, pretty much,
pretty much, I think it just added to that.
Okay. Okay. So what was it like growing up on the East Side? Because I know you grew up on the East Side.
It was nice, honestly. I grew up in kind of a white area, but it was also it's also a really educated area. So I feel like there was a lot of things that I didn't necessarily have to deal with when I was younger, or the things I dealt with. I don't know. It's like, for example, I'm just thinking of race as an example. Like, I lived around a lot of white people, but it wasn't like I was getting a lot of racism something, because those were white people who were actually educated on race, I felt like, or stuff like that. So, and then I don't know how to describe the area I grew up in. It's not really a big city, but it's also not like the country. It's like somewhere, it's in between, kind of like we have both. We have cow farms, but then we have like cities. So I guess it's a nice happy medium.
Okay, okay. So, like, how many siblings do you have? Like, because you say you grew up with siblings, so how many do you have, and where are you? The youngest, oldest?
I'm smack dab in the middle. So I have 4 siblings now, but I grew up with 3 of them. So I have 2 older sisters and then 2 younger brothers.
Wow, so you're a middle child.
Yes.
Wow, no. Don't be ashamed, because you're talking to another middle child right now.
Oh, really? How many
Yeah.
siblings do you have?
Well, in my household, I was the middle child. Let me say that, because it was my older brother and my younger brother, and I was in the middle growing up. Right. But in total, I actually have 10 siblings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm like the baby.
Oh my gosh. I always admire families like that. People always used to tell us we had such a big family when we were younger, but growing up now, it doesn't. There was only 4 of us when I was younger, so it wasn't that many.
No, I get it. Like, but the thing is when you have 10 siblings, you're very far apart in age. Like, my older sister is like about to reach 50 soon. So, you know what I mean? Like, and my nephew, me and my nephew are literally the same age.
Wow.
Like, he still calls me Unc.
Was it hard, like, being close to them if you guys were so separated? Because me and most of my siblings are like 1 to 3 years apart, so we're really close in age. But was it hard for you? Like,
I ain't gonna lie to you. My oldest sister is like my second mom, basically. Mm-hmm. Like, we had like a, kind of like a motherly relationship in a way. Yeah, you could say that, because a few of my siblings I don't talk to that much. I'd say, like, I'm probably closest to my oldest sister, and I do talk to my younger brother, from time to time. But to be quite honest with you, I'm actually closer to I don't know how it's going to sound, but I'm closer to my nephew and nieces a little bit more.
Oh, okay, yeah. That makes sense.
Like me, my nephew, and my niece, who's only a couple years younger than me, it's like we were kind of like clicked up a little bit growing up.
That's nice.
Yeah.
My family, we weren't really connected to the rest of our family. I guess that's another thing about my upbringing. Like, it was me and my immediate family. I never felt close to any other parts of my family. So it's not like, I don't know, like, I've met them and stuff. I've met parts of my family, but it's not like I consider them super close or anything like that. Like, I didn't have a close relationship with siblings or anything like that. So. I don't feel like I was missing anything, though.
Oh, okay. It's just more like you're on that side of the family, I'm on this side of the family kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, that makes sense. So I want to get into your TikTok videos, because that's how I discovered you. So I'm gonna ask you, I'm just gonna get straight into it. So when did you discover that you were ace?
So I discovered I was ace when I was 19. This was back in 2016, the spring.
Okay.
I had never heard of the word asexual in my life before. You know, I always knew that I felt like I felt differently about crushes and stuff like that than other people, but I just didn't have a word for it. And so obviously, you know, you just default to like heterosexual. So it wasn't until I was 19 until I heard the word asexual, and I was like, wait a second, this sounds kind of like me. So it really only took me a couple months. I just like read about it, read different identities under the asexual umbrella, and then I also like tried to read from people who were asexual, and I was like, yeah, this is definitely me. And then I was able to pick a micro label, and then from there, I don't know, it was really simple for me once I had the word, I guess.
Oh no, it totally makes sense because, you know, realizing from one asexual to another is like growing up. We like the idea of, you know, certain
Yeah.
things, but we realize that we don't actually like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Like, you know, for me, like I had like, you know, crushes on girls, but it was always like a romantic level. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And, you know, yeah.
I didn't really have a lot of crushes growing up. And then like I remember, I guess mid-teenage age when people start like talking about sexual attraction and stuff, I was like, I really thought that people were joking. Like I was like, this is making me laugh. Like, what are you talking about? And then later I found out, and I was like, oh, people actually are attracted to people in that way. It was new to me. I thought everybody. So I originally thought everybody was like me, kind of. But then, like, as you start growing, you realize you're different from everybody else, and then you find a word for it. So.
Wow. Mine's the opposite. I thought I was different from everybody else and found out I was different from everybody else because, you know, all of my homeboys talking about having sex in middle school, mind you. And I was like, what? Like, you want to do all of that? And then I'm thinking to myself, like, you know, I just want to, like, hold hands and do lovey-dovey stuff. I'm not into the whole sex thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
just... So, like, for you, I just want to ask you real quick. So, did you have a relationship, and was it kind of hard because you were ace?
I never had relationships growing up. I've had one relationship in my life, and that was as an adult. And that was, I guess it was hard. I don't know how to describe it. I didn't enjoy that. I wouldn't repeat that experience that I had.
Oh, okay. So,
But
like, it was a lot of it was basically just a lot of, you know, forcing it or faking it. And did you feel like, you know, it didn't feel right after a while because you felt like you were faking it or something?
yeah, so I guess I actually, my only relationship began like very close after I figured out I was ace. So like I figured out I was ace part, but I didn't figure out like, oh, you don't have to have this in a relationship and all that kind of stuff. I was just like, oh, I'm ace. And then I got in a relationship. I'm like, well, this is what a relationship is. So, you know, I just did everything that a relationship was. I think I got in a relationship like a few months, maybe around 6 months after I found out I was ace. So yeah, I feel like it was a lot of just playing along, kind of, or like even with the romantic part, because for me, I didn't feel like I was romantically attracted to that person. It just felt like, oh, like these are the steps in the relationship. This is what you have to do to like show that you care about your partner. And it was never like I wasn't feeling anything about it. So I don't know. I just wouldn't repeat that one.
Real quick, wow. How did your parents and how did your family react when, you know, you told them that this is what it is?
Um, so honestly, it's just with my mom. It's just a repeated coming out. I just come out again, and then a little while later I come out again, because it's just like for her, it's not like I don't think she takes it seriously. She's not like hating on me or anything, but she doesn't take it seriously. Like she thinks when I say that, I think she just thinks I'm like, oh, I don't want sex. So she's like, oh, well, one day you might. No, good.
If I had to count how many times I've heard that, like, we'd be here all day.
Right.
Exactly. And that's why I haven't told a lot of people, you know? So I want to ask you, like, do you truly feel like people in the LGBT community is fully accepting of us yet?
No, I definitely don't. I think that we are kind of, I think we're making progress, but I do think that we're an afterthought, or we are considered as like asexuality is considered like an add-on to heterosexuality. So then, like, I've seen it a lot on comments on my videos of like basically equating the two, and so it's like you're a heterosexual, you're not LGBTQ, and it's like these are actually two separate things. And I think that the hard thing is that it comes from within and outside of the community, so it's just coming from all areas. I don't feel like we're fully accepted.
Oh yeah, I 1,000% agree with that. You know, of course, just this year was the only time when I saw LGBTQIA, but you know what I mean? Like, I was like,
Right.
oh, so it took 2021 for them to finally include us.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly.
I've been seeing it with the plus for a couple of years now. But yeah, most people don't mention asexuality specifically.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, we live in a world where people are extremely judgmental, and people don't follow the philosophy of live and let live, unfortunately. So we do live in a just very judgmental world. And for us ace people, it has not been mainstream until the last, I'd say, 5 to 10 years. So, you know, we
Right.
have to keep explaining ourselves over and over again, which can also be frustrating, you know?
Yeah, that part is exhausting too. Like, coming out, for example, is always like an educator. Like, I feel like I'm an educator to somebody. Like, it was fun in the beginning, but sometimes when I come out, I just want people to know what it means already.
Right, exactly. And, you know, I think it's actually harder for an ace person to come out than a homosexual person to come out. Opinion, that's just opinion. You know, don't kill me or whatever. But, you know, I know how cancel generation can be, and I know how sensitive these people can be. You know, they pick apart what they choose. But at the same time, I say it's a little bit harder because you got to keep explaining yourself. Because every couple of years, they keep forgetting for some reason.
Mm-hmm. It's funny
You know
because
what I mean?
when I first came out, I felt like it was easier because, like I said, I found the word asexual, but in the very beginning, I was not educated on it either. So I felt like, oh, I'm not saying anything different. I thought of asexuality as a version of heterosexuality when I first found the word. So that's why it was really easy for me to come out to my family, I felt like. And then just the more I've learned and like the more experience I have, yeah, it's harder because you have to explain everything. There's so many
Okay.
misconceptions.
So did you meet any more aces on TikTok besides me?
Yeah, actually, I was very surprised by the community of asexuals that are on TikTok. Because I've never met an asexual in real life. Like, I found it very hard to find them. On other online platforms, I found it very hard to find them. But once I started making, like, basically once I niched my account into asexuality content, that's when I started finding other ace creators. And I think there's like a core group that, or what I consider a core group that I'm involved with, who are all like mutuals with each other. And then there's like a ace creator Discord too. So I felt like, I don't know, I feel like it was really nice. Like, it was very surprising at first to me because I'm just me, asexual by myself over here, and then suddenly there's like so many other people too. Like, it was crazy. So yeah, I've definitely found other asexuals who also make asexual content like me.
Shoot, I need to find them too, because I'm the only person I've legit found is yourself. So, you know, I need
Oh,
to find
really?
more people who consistently post. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm thinking of making like a list of, I want to specifically make a list of Black ace creators so that people, I can link it on my profile and people can find other people too.
Okay, okay. That's what's up. So I want to backtrack and I want to ask you a pretty deep question. So, what was one of the biggest lessons you've learned growing up?
I think one of the biggest lessons that I learned growing up is that other people are not like as genuine as you think, or like as good-hearted. I don't know what word to use, but good-hearted and genuine. When I was younger, I think I was really like rose-colored glasses. Like, I thought everybody was as I don't know, everybody had like a pure heart like me.
Right.
my mom always used to have to tell me, like, you have to stop being, she always told me I was too generous and people are going to take advantage of you. And, like, that, her telling me that at the time, I was, like, really mad about it and, like, it hurt. But then I realized, like, growing up, that's so true. And I don't know.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know how that was a big revelation for me, but yeah.
Yeah, because when you are a nice person, you manifest or you attract, by default sometimes people who are going to take advantage of you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And sadly, I've experienced a lot of that too, which I'm not going to get into in this video. But I want to ask you, um, what's something that you want to accomplish? I say within the next year.
So I'm not the kind of person who, like, makes goals with timelines. So I think the only thing that I can think of is, like, graduating. I'm in college right now and I'm in my last year, so I'll be graduating.
Wow.
I'll be graduating with 2 degrees. Finally, I've been in college for a long
2
time.
degrees?
Yeah. I'm in early childhood education for pre-K to 2, and then I'm in sociology.
Wow, look at you. Okay, so you about to be a teacher and stuff. That's what's up.
We'll
Wow.
see.
So like, have you all? Don't say that. Don't say that. Let's keep it all positive here. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know, let's just keep telling yourself, that you will graduate no matter what happens. And
Mm-hmm.
I personally believe it. You seem like a smart girl. And
Thank you.
is this something? You're welcome, of course. So is this something that you've always wanted to do? Was like teach kids?
So I think I started wanting to teach only like 4 years ago or something, or maybe like 5 years ago. Before that, I wanted to go into art or psychology. So backtracking a little bit, when I was in community college, I was taking art and like social science classes, and I remember my art teacher, she's like, you have a lot of potential, but you have to pick one. You can either like really put yourself into art or put yourself into social sciences. And so I left art. So I wanted to do psychology, and I really liked child psychology, but it wasn't until I started working as a substitute teacher in a preschool that I was like, really got into it. I taught for 3 years as like my mind is like, oh, substitute, and then also like a floater / assistant teacher. And I don't know, I just loved being around like little children and like taking care of them and stuff. So I was like, I didn't know if I wanted to teach children under 5 for the rest of my life. So I was just like, let me just go to get a degree so I can teach a little bit older too, in case I decide to go down that path too. So
Right. Okay, makes sense. So, what was it like? What's it like being around like a bunch of little rascals that's under 5 years old?
honestly, at some points, I think it's better than being around a bunch of adults.
Oh
um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I love it. Like, there's parts of it that I love, and then there's parts that are hard. So it's like, it's interesting. I think it's interesting to slow down and look at the world as a child again. Like, I don't know about you, but I loved childhood. I loved seeing the world through child's eyes. So it's like being surrounded by them, you can see that perspective again. You can see the little things in life. Like, the littlest thing is so important to them. And then also what I liked about it was like every day was different. I don't like things that are like the same all the time, constantly. So it's like it brings something different every day. But definitely it can be hard because sometimes it's like every day you're hearing crying and screaming and whining. So it's like, I'm glad to be
No,
in
I
school
get
to
it.
have like a little breath of air in between.
Right. And the thing is with kids is like they haven't been, I wouldn't want to say corrupted or brought
Yeah.
down by the world yet. So everything is so brand new to them, and everything is so love and light to them, and they
Right.
are much more accepting. You know what I mean? So I'd say like that's the best time to influence a child or to like push the kid in the right direction, is because like they're looking at the adults as the saviors. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's definitely one of the things that I liked about education too, was like I feel like there's like a lot wrong with society, and it does start with education and children. And I don't know, that's one of the things, well, that'll be in a different question, but one of the big things that I want to do in life is like create positive social change. And so it's like I enjoyed being around kids, but then there was a deeper level to it, which I feel like is more fulfilling too, if you have like a deeper level to your job as well.
Right. Okay. That's what's up. I'm really, I'm really liking how your mind works. I really do. And like I said, you seem very smart. And, I don't ever want to hear you say, we'll see again. Because to be honest with you, I'm going to feel like it's a bit of a letdown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I want to, what'd you say?
I said I say that a lot, but I do expect to graduate college and like the other things I said, but,
Yeah, I get it.
Wiggle room just in case.
Right. No, I get it. It's just, we also got to be very choosy with our words and put the right things out into the universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, she will, Shadow Gallery.
Thank you.
So I want to ask you, for you, what is one of your biggest accomplishments? Yes, definitely.
I don't know if I have. Okay, so this is probably also a little bit bad, but like I don't think I slow down enough to appreciate my accomplishments sometimes. So sometimes it's like lost in the wind as I go to the next thing. So that's kind of a hard question. I guess just some of the ones on the top of my head would be that I was able to graduate community college like several years ago with an associate's degree. Like before I went to college, I wasn't sure that I would ever go to college. It was just very scary. It was such a big change. So that was an accomplishment. And then more recently, I've done two research projects while at school, while back at college. And those felt really good to finish them, and I don't know, I was just really proud of them.
There you go. You got quite a few accomplishments actually. And you probably got more that you're not telling me about. So, you definitely accomplished a few things. So, another thing that I do want to, ask you is I saw a couple TikTok videos of you doing hair. So, do you do hair on the side?
I don't do anybody besides like personal, like siblings or like personal friends. I kind of want to, but so I do my own all the time. I kind of want to do other people like on the side, but I have a hard time with certain hairstyles that it's not going to be like to the level that I feel like people want when they're paying for it.
So. Okay, that makes sense. Wait, you did all of this?
Yes, it took so long. It's not even done.
And it's not done?
Yeah, not yet.
It looks nice. It looks really nice. Yeah, it's giving Japanese a little bit.
Oh.
Just a little bit. Yeah, it looks really nice, and I really like it. So, and if you ever decide to go towards a career path of doing hair, or in another life or whatever that you decided to do hair, I'm pretty sure you'd be good at that too.
Mhm. Thank you.
So, yeah, you shouldn't down talk.
Yeah, I could see myself doing many different things, so I wouldn't be surprised if I went into hair for a little while.
That would be great. So, you start with your family and friends, and you never know what it could take off into.
Right.
So, yes, definitely. So I want to ask you, I want to get back into the whole asexual thing real quick. I want to ask you, like, what's one big stereotype that you feel like you have to hurdle over when it comes down to asexuality?
There are so many. One that I find particularly annoying is like the whole prude slash conservative slash whatever you want to call it stereotype, where it's like, I don't know, like you're gonna dress really modestly and you're gonna like never listen to sexual music and you're gonna never talk about sex or like run in the other room when somebody mentions it or something. I don't like that one. Mainly because it's inside the ace community too. Like it comes from the outside a lot, but it's inside of the ace community too, which is annoying to me. Like, I feel like as somebody who, like, I'm not like that all the time. I fluctuate, but I'm not like that all the time. And I sometimes feel like less connected to the ace community or less supported if I'm expressing those kind of things because it doesn't fit like the main stereotype of asexuality. And we all
Right,
know,
exactly.
and it's funny because we all know, well, a lot of us know about Yasmin Benoit, is that how you pronounce her name? She's an asexual and she's a lingerie model, and a lot of asexuals look up to her and praise her, but it's interesting how, like, as soon as it's somebody that they know, other asexuals, I feel like, aren't so supportive. Like, they'll support her, but I feel like
Right.
they kind of, some of them kind of look down on you doing similar things.
Right. And the thing is that with the asexual thing, people assume that we don't watch, we don't like to read exotic novels, or, that we don't do other things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
like, one of my favorite music genres is sexual songs. So it's
oh
interesting.
wow.
Like, yeah, I like Ash Nico, and then I think her name is PP Cocaine, and Cupcake. Like, I like that kind of music.
Cupcake?
Yeah. Do you listen to her?
I listened to some songs, and the thing is with Cupcake is like, I was very surprised by her because the very first song I heard by her was Deep Throat,
Oh my
which
gosh.
I was like, which, as you know, just shook the internet because everybody was like, what the hell is this? And at first I thought it was like a little parody or something, like she was just fucking around with this. But like, I listened to more of her music and I'm like, she was sounding all lyrical and stuff. I'm like, whoa, like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
I don't know if she was just trying to get people's attentions with Deep Throat and then like just switch it around and say, hey, I can spit. I can actually spit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely was a little surprised when I first heard her music. My sister actually was listening to it, and I was like, what is this? But yeah, I like it now. I don't know, it just feels like it's fun to blast it and listen to it, and I don't know,
Right.
just nice. It's powerful, I guess.
Right. And then people hear that you're ace and they be like, if you're ace, why do you listen to that? Like, I don't know if I believe you anymore. You know what I mean? Like, and people don't believe that when I believe this either. And this is actually true too. Like, aces actually do a lot more stuff than you believe. Like, there's aces that still masturbate. You know what I mean? And, it's just, huh?
Or even have sex, and people
Yeah.
like, mind blown.
And the thing about the ace community, when it comes down to that, you got to realize, it's like, it's very hard to explain to people
Right.
what it's like being asexual and actually doing some things that involve sexual activity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's to please the partner. Sometimes you might find an ace that's actually in the demi category. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And sometimes, like, the ace just likes how it feels.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just plain and simple. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean they want to have sex with anybody.
Exactly. Which goes back to, like, the stereotypes. Like, asexuality means one specific thing, but then there's, like, so many other things that are attached to it that a lot of people think, oh, this is what asexuality looks like, this is what asexuality means. So if you say asexual, a lot of other things come with it, which are actually not asexual. They're just behaviors, or they're just preferences, or something like that.
Right, exactly. And, I'm just asking, like, have you ever, like, had a person tell you, like, maybe you're not asexual, maybe you're gay?
Yes, I have. And I hate to say that I've had a close friend say that too. So it was even worse. And it's very weird to me because it's like, just because I'm saying I'm not just because I'm not sexually attracted to men doesn't mean I'm suddenly sexually attracted to women. Like, where did that come from? And that's that binary thinking again. It's like, oh, well, you're straight or gay. So it's like, if you say, oh, I'm not straight, they're like, must be gay. Or like, even if I like, a lot of the times I won't like rep with the rainbow flag or like wear the rainbow flag because they just think that means gay. Like, rainbow means gay when it's actually supposed to be for all of us. So yeah, definitely that's definitely been said to me many a time.
Wow. That's great, because one of the main reasons I asked that, because I've had very similar experiences growing up. People have mistaken me for gay a lot. Like they say, like, maybe, some people thought I was a little too feminine, and some people thought that I was gay simply because I love R&B music, which is another negative toxic masculinity stereotype. But
I've never heard
no,
that.
no. I'm gonna tell you real quick that with me, I like listening to like TLC or Mary J. Blige, or like like different R&B artists like that, or I like to listen to like Boyz II Men, or I like listening to Tank or Genuine, and I love R&B music. Like that's my number one genre right there. So people really legit thought that I was gay because I listened to that kind of music, and I'm like, wow. And then I saw a tweet from a woman saying, like, men aren't supposed to listen to R&B music. And I'm like, y'all want to really gatekeep R&B music now? Like, nah, fam. Like, that's not going to go down.
Yeah, those Twitter posts about men aren't supposed to do this are out of hand. They're like, men can't eat cake. Men can't, like,
what?
I don't know.
Can't eat?
What
the hell did you hear that one?
They're like, if your man asks for dessert when you're at the restaurant, he's a little gay.
What? What
yeah,
the hell?
a bunch of Twitter posts like that. It's like, okay, it's getting out of hand. I mean, it's been out of hand, but.
Wow. Yeah, it really is. And, the thing is that when it comes down to ACE, most people just don't understand it. So, like, of course they're going to say, maybe it's homosexuality, or maybe you're bisexual, or maybe you're pansexual. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of these sexuals that we're not. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, and also, like, I guess adding on to what you were saying, like how people thought you were too feminine, the way I dress, like, a lot of the time, I guess, is too masculine. So, like, the fact that I'm not sexually attracted to men, and then I also dress masculine, suddenly it's like, oh, you're a lesbian. Like, even people, like, that I'm out as ace to, like, still say, are you sure you're not gay?
Ignorance makes my skin crawl, but at the same time, it's like it's something we got to deal with. And with the whole asexual thing, it's not mainstream enough yet to where people have fully accepted it. It's going to take probably another decade or so for people to fully be like, okay, it exists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's just, that's one lesson that, we really have to learn, is to just deal with the negative stereotypes. So I will say, like, what made you choose TikTok to post all of this content and to express yourself on TikTok particularly?
So I've, like, wanted to make videos for a while. Like, I think I was 17 when I first was like, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to make YouTube videos. But what I particularly like about TikTok is that you take something and you make it into something new. Like, you have something and you create it into something else. Like, you're not necessarily starting from scratch and just making your own thing. And that's something that I like to do, or I'm good at, is, like, I like to take something and make something new with it. And that's what you do on TikTok. Like, sounds, trends, anything. Like, I listen to a sound and just an idea pops in my head for how I can use that sound in a different way than what I'm watching it as. So I like that aspect of it a lot. And then also, I guess, like, the reach of it is kind of nice, because I feel like a lot of other social media apps, you see only, like, who you're following, and vice versa. Like, people only see you if they're friends with you. And TikTok, you can reach anybody, kind of, which is, I think it's a lot nicer. Like, you can get feedback on your videos. It doesn't feel like you're putting your video out there for nothing, or like you're talking to a brick wall or something. So that's part of the algorithm that I like. That's, like, one of the only parts of the algorithm I like.
Yeah, I understand, because, sometimes it can be frustrating if you're posting a video that you worked on, which you worked really hard on, and then for it to not get a lot of views, or for it to get shadow banned, it can be very frustrating. But I also want to ask you about the good side of TikTok. Like, tell me, like, about one of your highest viewed videos, and tell me, like, was you surprised when you saw, like, that it did a lot of numbers?
I'm, to this day, I'm always shocked when my videos do really well. Like, often the ones that I've done well on are ones that I'm like, oh, this will get like 200 views max, and then it's like the next day it's blowing up, and I'm like, wait a second, what's going on? But what was the question? Sorry, I just got lost in my own thought. What was the
It's okay.
question?
It's okay. You're good. So I was asking you, you know, when it comes down to your videos, tell me about your highest rated video and how shocked was you, you know, when you found out, oh my God, like this has way more views than I thought I was going to get.
Okay, so my top 2 videos, one of them was like last October, and it was like something that really matched with like the kind of videos that I make. So I was really excited about that one and also shocked. Like that one it blew up in like 2 days. And then my top video is one that I'm like less excited that it blew up because it doesn't match what I make videos on, and it was kind of just like a spur of the moment, like expressing something that I was feeling in the moment, and then it has like 800,000 views and like
damn,
a lot of hate comments. So that one I'm a little less excited about, but every time it happens, even if there's hate, I'm appreciative for it because yeah, it just, I don't know, just that moment is so exciting. And I also like, I get a lot of serotonin off of comments and like responding to people in comments, so I like that.
Yeah, like when you get a lot of hate comments, it can be hard to focus for one, and for two, you know, when it comes down to, you know, like I said, being in the community, you're gonna get a lot of ignorant ass people commenting ignorant ass stuff. So you know, and I realize you can't explain everything to those people, and that sometimes talking to a person is like talking to a brick wall, because no matter what you say, no matter how many facts or evidence that you bring them, they're still gonna look at you and be like, no. Just because they plain just want to be right.
And that's something that I'm struggling to learn, because it's very hard for me to just see some ignorant comment and just leave it there. Like, it's very hard. But then when if you're getting bombarded with a lot of stuff, then it's like you have to delete it, or you have to block them or something. You can't respond to every comment, which, I don't know. I think that it's kind of a good exercise for me in life in general, to be like, you can't fix everything. You can't change everybody's mind. You only have control over yourself and like what you do and how you react to it. So you can't make yourself crazy trying to respond to every single comment every single time. Yeah.
Right.
But surprisingly for me, I actually don't get a lot of hate comments in general unless my videos blow up. And I don't know if that's because I'm kind of aggressive on there sometimes, but I'm lucky enough that like my average videos don't get a lot of hate comments. Also, maybe that's also because a lot of them stay like within the ACE community, so it's a lot of people that are like-minded. But yeah,
that's what's up. And you know, that's, you know, the fact that you get to connect more with people in the ACE community, and that, you know, the algorithm shows a lot of those people your videos, that you get to make a lot more friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, that's how we was able to have this interview, because I saw your videos pop up on my For You page, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, also, you tagged asexual a lot in your videos, so I think I looked up the hashtag too, and I saw more of your videos, and I was like, wow, like, I really got to check her out. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that was back when I was posting a bunch of food videos.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I used to watch your food videos because I'm vegan too, so I like to see what other vegan people are eating or making.
You're ace, you're vegan. Wow, I think we're like best friends now.
Basically.
And not just because of those two things. We have a lot in common, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
And real quick, I want you to show me, without flicking me off, your rings, your ace rings.
Oh. So actually, I got these ones recently at Walmart. It comes with a white one. I don't have it right next to me, but I don't want to wear all 3 of them. So actually I made a video on that. I found them at Walmart. They're just supposed to be like those wedding bands that you exercise with, I guess, which I didn't even know those existed. But they happen to be in the ACE flag color, so I really liked my old one, which was a stone one, but when it drops, it breaks. So I can't have that.
No, I feel you. I feel you. I really want to find those rings. That, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, yo, where did she get that? Like, if I could rock those rings, like, bruh. So,
Yeah,
those rings are really nice.
definitely. They're silicone, so if you don't find them at Walmart, you can also probably find them on Amazon, or somewhere else if you look up silicone rings.
Okay. Okay. So, I also want to ask, because you said you only had a few crushes growing up, right? So,
Yeah.
so I will say, like, are you more on the, like, do you feel yourself kind of sliding towards a romantic just a little bit?
Yeah, I would say that I definitely feel connected to that community, and I definitely feel like I have some similar experiences. I don't ID as aromantic, but going off like the definitions and stuff, it definitely makes sense, or I'm definitely like, I think I'm more towards that than allo-romantic, so.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. And I will say this, for all the people that, all the people that's going to watch it and watch the playback and, hear this on Spotify and stuff, I will say that sexuality is a spectrum. It's a huge spectrum, and I want to explain because I brought up aromantic and some people probably heard me and said, what the hell are you talking about? Aromantic is lack of romantic attraction towards people. And yes, those people do exist. Just like asexual is lack of sexual attraction towards people, a romantic is lack of romantic attraction towards people. And, when you're a romantic, you have less and less of a desire to even be in a romantic relationship. And I guess that rings true for me too, because, like I said, I still experience romantic attraction sometimes, but like I can experience romantic attraction like 2 years.
Right.
I will say that I am more into the aromantic category because, like, I don't have a desire to be in a relationship, and I'm just like, I'm still open to it, but I'm just like, I'm not gonna look for it. I'm not gonna actively date or look for it or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that. I'm not one of those people that like is sad or lonely being like not in a relationship. Like, I'm fine just existing just as I am, but I could see myself being in some kind of relationship in the future. I'm just not necessarily looking for it, trying to get it, anything like that.
Right. No, I totally get that. I totally get that. And, when it comes down to romantic relationships and when you get with an asexual and then the person realizes that they don't want to have sex, like, that can be hard too. You know what I mean? Unless that person is more in the falls more into the demi category,
Right. Yeah.
And demisexual, God, I gotta keep explaining all these definitions because I realize like we're talking to people that don't know. So demisexuality means that you don't experience sexual attraction unless you are romantically attracted to that person first. Like, and once you experience romantic attraction, yeah.
And then I think I used the term allo-romantic, and that just means that you do experience romantic attraction.
Yes, definitely. So, we got to explain a lot of things to people. So much things to people because a lot of people aren't educated on this spectrum. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm glad that we're having this talk.
Yeah, on some of my videos, I started like making a thread of like terms so that, because that's a lot of the questions I get sometimes, like, what does that mean? So I just started sometimes making a thread of terms, and then people can go and see like what everything means. So I forget sometimes when I'm talking that people don't know what it means.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. And I will say that I don't know if I'm right, but tell me if I'm right or not. But are you kind of shy in person?
Of course, yes. I'm quiet. I don't talk a lot to people that I don't know. I don't really go to or like large social gatherings. I prefer having deep friendships and not a lot of friendships. And I prefer hanging out with people one-on-one or in very small groups. So, yeah.
Okay, so you have a social battery, pretty much.
Yes, definitely. It's very low all the time.
Yes. I will say that my social tolerance is very low in the morning. Or it's very low when I'm tired. Like, when a person tries to make conversation with me when I'm tired, it's hard because I'm such a people pleaser. I'm so nice.
Right.
So it's like, I don't want to tell them, like, the inside of me is saying back the fuck away, like I'm trying to just chill in my bubble. But you know, of course, on the outside, I'm like, you know, yep. Like, do you find yourself doing that? Like when you're like don't want to be social, and somebody talkative is trying to talk to you?
Yeah, I just nod and laugh, and I hope that I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but it's like sometimes I am just hoping that they will not talk to me for too long. Because it is exhausting, especially like when I'm in school, for example. Like my social battery feels like it's draining just from being in class, sitting next to people. So it's like I'm not really jumping to then talk to random people, you know?
No, I get it. You know what I mean? I totally get that. Like, it's just, I'm just too nice to tell them to fuck off. And to me, I'm just not a disrespectful person, so I'm not going to say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't ever tell anybody to, like, stop or anything. I just kind of wait till they're done.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I just give them one or two word answers. But I will say that once I get to know you and once I feel comfortable with you and once I get a good read of your energy and I like you, then you're going to look at me like, yo, okay, you could stop talking now because I could talk. After that, I'd say I'll become more extroverted once I mess with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can't ramble.
I feel that too. I feel like people are like, from how they meet me or like see me when they don't know me to like how I am with them as friends, they're like, it's almost like two different people, kind of. So I get that.
Right.
People are shocked sometimes.
Right. And then like some people say that I have like the male version of a resting bee face, like a resting mean face or whatever.
Yeah, I have that. I have resting.
You have that too? Resting
I have RBF.
bee face?
Yeah.
Okay, so like people just assume, like they look at you like, are you mad? Are you mad at me? Like, no, like I'm just chilling. Like
right.
I could be sitting there excited thinking about what I'm gonna do today, and then somebody be like, you mad? Like, no, like you get that too, huh?
Yeah, it doesn't help that like I also sometimes my resting face is like with a very furrowed brow for some reason. So like it looks like I'm like thinking deeply about something I'm mad about all the time. But that's just how I look. But as soon as I smile, I feel like it's two different things. So when I'm smiling, nobody notices.
Okay. So I want to backtrack a little bit, and I just want to ask you another deep question. So, what do you love the most about what you do on TikTok?
I like the feeling of connecting to people in a meaningful way, I think. And for me, that's in comments. Like for other people, it might be on live or like through DMs, but for me, it's on comments. I like when I have the time to respond to every comment. I like when, those moments that are like, that you share with people on there, where it's like, oh my gosh, you helped me like learn this thing about myself. Or sometimes the commentators are helping me learn things about myself. So I like that genuinely connecting with people on there. Yeah.
Okay, definitely. So what do you love the most about education and about teaching kids?
I don't know. I just like them. I like them. I like hanging out with them. It's fun. But I will say my current job right now is actually like landscape and garden, being privately hired, and I love that too. I think I like a lot of what's that thing called? When you're not a jack of all trades, but you like jack of all trades. I like a lot of things. So like right now I'm in landscape and garden, and I love that. When I was in teaching, I loved that. When I was in art, I loved that.
Okay. So, do you have any advice for anybody who is in the ACE community or who is ACE and they just aren't confident enough to express their sexuality yet, the way that you expressed yours, for example, on TikTok?
Right. So first I would say to be patient. You don't have to be out to feel like you're connected to the ACE community or to feel like you are validating yourself. So if you're not comfortable don't do it. Like, I wouldn't have even considered myself out before TikTok. I was out to my family, and then when I was in public, it's not like I would say anything about it. You know, if somebody mentioned asexuality in public, I wouldn't say, like, I wouldn't go and be like, oh, I'm asexual. I would just act like I wasn't, you know? So I was there before, and it's like, it's not necessary to be publicly out to find validation or to find connection. You can connect a lot with people online without outing yourself or anything. Like, that's what I did a lot. Like, I joined groups or I followed certain accounts that I could at least be seeing it, and in that way I felt like I was participating in ace culture without outing myself. Or you can do like subtle pride things, like either just within your house or like that you wear that are more subtle. Like a lot of people don't know what ace rings are. Like, if you just wear the black ring, nobody really knows what that is.
Wow.
Or anything purple or anything like related to the ace card or anything cake related, I feel like you can really have hidden ways to feel like you're able to express that.
Okay. So, when it comes, I want to ask you one more question, and then I'm going to let you get up out of here, okay? You've been great.
Okay.
You've been great. I really like this interview.
Thank you. I like this too.
Yeah, of course. And, when it comes down to being on El3vation Podcast, if you ever want to come back anytime, or, feel free to hit me up or DM me, and then we can set up a part 2 of our interview.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, of course. So, the last thing I do want to ask you is, when it comes down to your asexuality, you know what I mean? Like, what's one thing you wish you could change about, the stereotypes and, the way people look at you?
I think one thing that I would change is the way that is like asexuality in the context of relationships, because as you know, I'm a proud asexual, like almost 100% of the time. But the times that I do feel bad are when I feel like I'm thinking about relationships and like how other people think of relationships, and like, oh, I couldn't be in a relationship because I can't provide this for them, or like, if I tell someone I'm asexual, this will happen, like simply in the context of relationships. So I would change that about people's like perceptions, and I would hope that other people would accept other ace people in relationships, even if they're not ace, which is a tall order, I think. But yeah, I would change that.
Wow. Okay. I would love this interview. I love the fact that we finally got to have a conversation, and it was such a good conversation. So I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. And like I said, you're welcome back anytime. And anytime that you want to talk about anything, feel free to DM me or anything like that. So, thank you so much for doing this interview. You guys can catch a playback of this interview anywhere that you can stream podcasts. Thank you so much. It will be available in the next 48 hours. And you have a good one, okay?
All right. Have a good day, everyone.
All right. Have a good day.